welcome to the reaction log. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, guess what? Our two favorite guitarists, Ichika and Marcin, put out a new collab. Oh my god. Like 4 days ago. It's not that new. But you know what? I figure if they keep uploading the same collab, I'm allowed to keep uploading the same reaction video to that collab. Let's make some musical predictions here. Just the two of us chord progression. There's gonna be a whole lot of shredding. I'm actually not seeing any nylon string this time, so, you know, that's kind of good. Hey, and you know what? There's been a lot of stuff with Ichika, like, you know, the whole miming thing. I think when it comes to the actual skill discrepancy between what it appears to be with the miming and then the actual true technical ability, Ichika has been sort of under fire with that recently. I've seen other YouTubers friggin' talk about it, like the bass guy that plays all that Victor Wooten stuff. I think he made a reaction video on like how he feels about Ichika, saying that like dismissively, like I don't do the exact same thing. I just feel like I'm above everything, I guess. Which, let's actually get into that. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am a classical guitarist here on YouTube. And what does it mean to be a classical guitarist? It means that I'm above everything. Now, I've said my opinion about the whole miming thing. I think it's just a way to make a nice, pleasing product that will just sell to the masses. And by the way, as a classical musician, part of the recording process of recording classical music is that you essentially Frankenstein together hundreds of takes to make your one perfect interpretation. And if you ever find a music video of somebody playing classical guitar and they're like outside in nature, outside of a cathedral or wherever it is, they're most certainly miming along to it. But nobody really bats an eye because, you know, we assume that those classical musicians can actually play at that level, but the reality is, like, they can play like probably almost to that level, but it is a Frankenstein together perfect take that you're hearing. It's the best possible outcome. Maybe a 1 out of 1,000 performance chance of something like that happening. So, you know, that's a lie too. Ichika has been under fire in particular, because it seems like it's more than 1 out of 1,000 for him. He's like, you know, like kind of in an intermediate level of guitar playing. It's not the case for Marcin. Marcin's our classically trained, classical good boy.
Polite, classical boy at heart.
We know all about that. He can actually play. I'm sure Ichika can play guitar too, but I have just personally a lot less respect for him because he was not taught under Poland's finest like Marcin was. So, you know, he's pretty good for a hobbyist and all that, but he ain't a classically trained good boy like Marcin. So that's my opinion about this. I don't really think it's a big deal to mime along to stuff. And in fact, what I said Ichika shines in the most is his compositions, because that's really how it works when you're a composer. You write the music and then you try to find a way to package it. Ichika, to me, is not even a guitarist. He's a composer, and he writes virtuosic sounding electric guitar music, and it's effective to present himself like a virtuosic electric guitarist, so I don't blame him for that. It's whatever. Alright, first things first, I want to just take a look at these comments. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dude, is that how you spell whoa? Oh my goodness. That's the weirdest thing about this comment by far. Whoa, something to actually listen for here. There's a key change at 047. Amazing into the build-up. I will be listening for that. Are we gonna hear just the two of us in 2 keys? Oh boy. I could listen to this from here to eternity, Divine. You're gonna be listening to that a whole lot. It's a 3-minute song. This feels less like a performance and more like a conversation. Well, I have a feeling it's not going to be like a performance as we know it, but heard. I'll keep that in mind. Rhythm, melody, and silence, all perfectly placed. Yeah, I'm getting kind of hyped up for this right now. The comments are making me feel like this is going to be a really nuanced piece of music I'm about to listen to. The song is so balanced in volumes. It's so balanced, dude. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It made me cry. Sick. Really? Man, this song's gonna rock. Oh my gosh. Finally, the wait is over. You were waiting for this? It's already happened. No need to wait. It already exists, bro. Can't wait for the sore hands reaction. Once again, it's already there. I already have a bunch of these, so you don't even need to wait for it. Listen to the whole album yesterday in one sitting. It took 7 minutes. I'm assuming. Based on Ichika's usual work, I'm assuming that. There's 25 songs and it took 7 minutes to listen to. Soran's about to pay his bills with this. Hey, that being said, let's go ahead and actually jump into the music now. Shall we? I see Marcin banging on his guitar as he usually does. I do not hear a single acoustic drum sound whatsoever though. Like, listen to that. I hear like reverse snares and stuff. How did Marcin get his guitar to sound like that? That's crazy. It is just kind of funny because it's so disconnected from like what I'm seeing and hearing. have the typical style of what we'd hear from these electric guitar virtuoso people, which we hear it in Polyphia, we hear it in Ichika Nito sometimes. I feel like less so in Ichika Nito, because he's kind of functional with how he moves around with like dominant chords. But I feel like you hear more of this like what I'll call diatonic soup sound in Polyphia. That's what I'm hearing right now, where essentially I'm defining that as you take any given key and you kind of move around in this chord progression that doesn't really go anywhere. We're kind of moving around like subdominant chords, like 4, 5, which is dominant, but we're going to have some deceptive motion, kind of keeping that subdominant feeling. We never really resolve anything, right? It's always just kind of moving around. On top of that, we have this melody. That's all in 3s. Pretty convenient on the guitar, however you want to play it. And now, I would criticize that diatonic soup sound normally, because it's a thing you hear a lot with virtuosic guitar playing, and it's a way to make really complex sounding things that are actually really simple once you look at it. Because you can make diatonic soup with just a couple of chords, and then you just have a melody. But I'm not really adding any like information to that. It's just a messy, soupy amalgamation of what is E flat major. And you could diffuse that by like going somewhere outside of the key and then building off of that. Whoa! Where are we going now? Leave a comment if you know where that was going. But something's gonna happen here that's actually kind of cool. Right now our key center is feeling like E flat, even though that chord's not being played. It is. But something's going to change a little bit in the second half, leading up to what this modulation, according to the comment section, is going to be. The leading tone of E flat, which is D, we're going to start hearing a D flat, which is going to make us start hearing A flat as the tonic. Listen. So, the diatonic soup is diffused. Whoa! That's pretty cool. Now, we haven't reached 47 seconds yet, so I don't know if that was the modulation. But I guess my point is, it's kind of an interesting moment, because we're just, like, randomly tonicizing the 4 chord, leading into something else here, which gives us a very, like, kind of mellow sound, I feel. I feel like it's kind of tension-releasing to tonicize the 4, versus tonicizing the 5 is more like tension-building. Versus that, which would be like tonicizing the 4. Moving on, let's hear this frickin' modulation now. Oh. I can't even tell what key we're in because of the sub bass. I bet you guys are going to have an easier time hearing it, but I cannot hear it because of the freaking sub bass. But I think what happened here is we did actually modulate to the 4 of our original key. Now, we're playing the same chord progression we were playing before, which is 4, 5, 6, but now we're playing it in A flat, the key of the 4 of E flat. So we played a simple chord progression in our home key, then we modulated to the 4, and we're playing the same chord progression. And now they're both soloing over each other in a way that's a little annoying to listen to. I will say that. But let's just, like, listen now. Oh. Alright, so we're coming from A flat there, but we're briefly tonicizing E flat again, which should be the 5. I heard that. So I actually have to give it credit, because this is basically like sort of the opposite, or at least the minimum required to be on the other side of diatonic soup, which is what I was saying, which it's pretty evenly floating between 2 keys, so it's not diatonic, it's like doing other stuff. Which, if you're writing music, this is a great way to separate yourself from like crappy pop music that doesn't go anywhere, and to get you a little closer to the light of like Bach, for example. Like if you listen to any of the Bach that I play, you know, it'll start like this, and then halfway through the song, same thing, right? We're in a different key, though. Like, of course, this is way different than that. But my point is, modulation is just one of those musical tools that I think is, like, very daunting for people. And it's easy on guitar, I think, to just kind of practice scales just endlessly, forever and ever. And you're just doing that. And you never really think about... And you never really think about how those scales can, like, lead into other scales to actually take your music somewhere. I think this is my least favorite part of this song. Like, everything that's in the higher register. I guess Ichika didn't write this for me. It's okay. So we're back to that 4-5-1 in A flat. Marcin's over there with the hi-hat and snare now on his guitar. Well, Marcin, it sounds exactly like a sample. I don't know how you do it. Also, where is Marcin? I hate this. I hate this part. Yeah. And I don't hate it because it's an electric guitar solo. I love some electric guitar solos. I feel like a lot of the magic from this one comes from the, like, backing track. It's a nice backing track. It's good. But yeah, you know, not a fan of this. Maybe just like a little bit of, in case you guys aren't super fluent in theory, you might be wondering, because I keep saying we're in A flat major, and I'm saying we're playing the 4-5-6. And you might be thinking, like, oh, aren't we in F minor, because it's, like, ending on F minor and stuff? But no. Like, usually whatever key you're in, there's going to be a leading tone under the root. And if that was present for F, which in this case would be E, it would sound like... It would sound more like that. Which, but when you hear this, you can hear how it goes nicely to A flat there. And in that case, it sounds like F is the root. But that's why I'm calling it that. I know all of you already know everything I just said, but just in case you don't, there you go. All right. He's just going to be chilling in A flat for the rest of this, I imagine. Let's see if I eat my words. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, you don't have to change key like every 4 bars. I'm not saying that. And you know what? He's already moved around enough to, like, this song modulates. It totally does. But I don't know. I don't think soulful soloing is Ichika's forte, per se. I think he's better at, like, programming in flashy arpeggio runs to look cool and then miming along to them. His soloing is, like, it's not very good, in my opinion. Sorry, Ichika. I'm not trying to be your friend or anything, though, so I don't care. But yeah, that's this. Hey, Marcin's back. Where'd he go? Freaking got lunch or something. Alright. Man, Marcin kind of took a backseat to that one, huh? That's okay. We hear enough from Marcin already. Yeah, overall, it did more than I thought it would. I thought the comment with the modulation was just like an ignorant comment from someone who doesn't know better. Someone who's a fan of Ichika, for example. Boom! Alright, roasted. But I don't know, like, I expect this guitar-y, like, especially social media guitar stuff, like, I feel like it's meant for the shortest attention span possible. So oftentimes that's one key, like just shredding as fast and as crazily as possible in that one key, and then the video ends and then you move on to another video that's exactly the same. This place did go somewhere. It went to one other place, which I appreciate. And it oscillated between those like a couple times. Like even just suggesting it, where it went like F, E flat, and then to D natural when it should have been D flat if we were still in A flat. When we did that thing. So we kind of got a taste of the 1 modulating to the 4, and then the 1 also modulating to the 5, but just between 2 keys, which is kind of cool because like I said, I feel like 1's more of a release of tension, and then 1's more like gaining tension, like releasing tension, and then gaining it back, like that. So we kind of felt it both ways. So I feel like the amount you can do in 3 minutes, he kind of covered that very well. That's what I appreciate about this. What I don't appreciate, a bunch of like noodling that just sounds like kind of corny to me, I guess. Not into that, but there is something to this song. It's not just a nothing song like a lot of stuff you hear. Now, how does it compare to the stuff of the dead composers that I play on my grandpa guitar? It's nothing. It's garbage. I hate it. And I think we can go ahead and wrap this one up here. It was a pleasant surprise. I didn't think I would be surprised so pleasantly. But here we are. Of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, head on down over to Rootin's Delight for some merch. Pick yourself up some honest merch. There's a Valentine's Day sale. 15% off of everything. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Of course, guitar lessons, I don't offer them, sorry. But I do know my fellow grad students who do. So if you want online classical guitar lessons, hit me up. Email's in the description. If I don't get back to you, it's because I'm busy. It's not because I hate you. Don't worry. And yeah. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next one.